Hello and welcome to the analysis of the Hindu newspaper dated January 11th, 2023. In this video, we are going to talk about two important newspaper articles. These articles are very important, very significant for the civil services examination. So let's start with this video with this first important newspaper article. Now, this particular article is important for the prelims section as well as the GS paper 3, that is achievements of Indians in science and technology, indigenization of technology and developing new technology, because it mentions about the Defense Acquisition Council and how it has given the acceptance of necessity for the three kind of requirements, right? Now these three kinds of requirements are going to be discussed in this particular article. Now, the Defense Acquisition Council, headed by Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Tuesday, accorded acceptance of necessity for three capital acquisition proposals amounting to 4,276 crore. Now, three requirements are that the first one is the Helena anti-tank guided missile. Then we need the Vishoreds, that is very short range air defense systems, and then we need the BrahMos cruise missile launchers and fire control systems for naval ships, right? So these are the three requirements of the defense at this particular point of time, and that is why Defense Acquisition Council has given up the acceptance of necessity. It has been published in the PIB, right, Press Information Bureau. Now all of three are indigenous design and development projects, which is a very special news. And let's now discuss what is the Helena anti-tank guided missile. Then we will discuss the Vishorets. Then we will also discuss about the BrahMos cruise missile launchers, right? So the first one is the Helena anti-tank guided missiles. So basically these are being developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization, and they are a third generation lock on before launch fire and forget anti-tank guided missile meant for indigenous ALH, that is advanced light helicopter and light combat helicopter, right? And Helena is the army variant, and the air force variant of it is known as Dhruvastra, right? And apart from it, we have anti-tank missiles at this particular, we have various anti-tank missiles at this particular point of time. The first one is the Nag missiles. We have also the MPED GM, we also have the Saint, then we have the ATGM for the MBT Arjun. So these are basically all the anti-tank guided missiles, right? And apart from it, we also have the second part, or the second acquisition is of the Vishoreds, right? Very short range air defense system. So this is basically a man-portable air defense system, that is MANPAD, designed and developed indigenously by the DRDO's Research Center Emirate RCI Hyderabad in collaboration with the other DRDO laboratories and Indian industry partners. And the Vishoreds missile incorporates many novel technologies, including the miniaturized reaction control systems. It also includes integrated avionics, which have been successfully proven during the test. And apart from it, the missile is also meant for neutralizing low altitude aerial threats at short ranges and is propelled by a dual thrust solid motor. Now this has a very specific application, we are going to talk about it, but first let's discuss about the design of the missile. So the design of the missile also includes a launcher which has been highly optimized to ensure easy portability. Now easy portability of it is going to be helpful in the China region, right? In the defense against the China, because all of the heavy equipments cannot be transported to such altitudes, such high altitudes, and that is why the rough terrain or the rugged terrain poses a challenge for all the transport of all the heavy equipments, and that is why the man portable systems like this are very important. So in the view of recent developments along the northern borders, there is a need to focus on effective air defense weapon systems which are man portable and can be deployed quickly in the rugged terrain and the maritime domain. And apart from it, the procurement of the Vishoreds as a robust and quickly deployable system will strengthen the air defense capabilities. So the army has a major requirement for the Vishoreds, and several attempts to import the systems have not materialized. Because we couldn't import the air defense systems, man portable air defense systems, and that is why we have gone with the indigenous technology which was known as Vishoreds, right? So this is it regarding the visual rates. Let's now talk about the third kind of equipment that army has required, or the for the Defense Acquisition Council has required, right? So the third one is the BrahMos launcher and the FCS. Now, Defense Acquisition Council granted approval for the procurement of the BrahMos launcher and the fire control system for the Shivalik class of ships and the next generation missile vessels for the Indian Navy, and with their induction, these ships would have enhanced capability of carrying out maritime strike operations, interdicting and destroying enemies' warships and merchant vessels. Right. So these are the three kinds of equipments which the defense has required, or the Defense Acquisition Council has given the acceptance of necessity. That is, it requires these kinds of equipments for an amount of 4,267 crores, 276 crores, right? So this is it regarding this particular newspaper article. Let's now head to the next important newspaper article. Now this particular newspaper article is a very short newspaper article, but it mentions the appointment of the RBI deputy governor, and that is why it is very important for understanding this particular statutory body, that is the Reserve Bank of India. Now these kinds of important newspaper articles are important for the GS paper too, that is a statutory, regulatory and various quasi judicial bodies, because at the end of the day Reserve Bank of India is a statutory body that is established by the Act of Parliament, right? And it is established under the RBI Act 1935, right? We all know that. So let's first understand the context of this particular newspaper article, then we will understand the RBI Act. So the Union government has reappointed Michael Patra as a deputy governor, Reserve Bank of India, for a further period of 1 year with effect from January 15 or until further orders, whichever is earlier according to the notification. Now, Dr. Patra is basically a career central banker is in charge of the monetary policy at the Reserve Bank of India, and is a member of the Monetary Policy Committee headed by the Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikant Das. So let's now understand about the Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India basically was established on April 1, 1935 in accordance with the provisions of the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Sorry, I mentioned earlier that it is RBI Act 1935. Now it is basically RBI Act 1934, right? And it was established on April 1, 1935. Now the central office of the Reserve Bank was initially established in Calcutta but was permanently moved to Mumbai in 1937, and the central office is where the government sits and where the policies are formulated, right? Though originally privately owned, since nationalization in 1949, the Reserve Bank is fully owned by the government of India, right? So now the functions of the Reserve Bank of India are very simple. The first one is to regulate the issue of the banknotes and keeping of reserves with a view to securing monetary stability in India, and generally to operate the currency and credit system of the country to its advantage. And the second function is to have a modern monetary policy framework to meet the challenges of the increasing complex economy. So basically all the monetary policies are formed in the Reserve Bank of India. For example, the rates such as repo rate, reserve rate, bank rate, which define the monetary policies of the country, are basically monitored by the Reserve Bank of India. And apart from it, it also maintains Reserve Bank of India maintains price stability while keeping in mind the objective of the growth. So the price stability is also maintained by the Reserve Bank of India through the monetary policy instruments. For example, the reserve rate, the repo rate, reserve repo rate, all of these rates are being monitored by the Reserve Bank of India in order to maintain the price stability. At the same time, it also maintains the stability in the currency, right? So these are the basic functions of the Reserve Bank of India. Let's now talk about the structure of the Reserve Bank of India. So basically the Reserve Bank's affairs are governed by the Central Board of Directors. Now Central Board of Directors are present in the Reserve Bank of India. For example, the the governors as well as the deputy governors are part of the Central Board of Directors. Now the board is appointed by the Government of India in keeping with the Reserve Bank of India Act, and the directors are appointed nominated for a period of basically 4 years. But at this point of time, extension has been given to Dr. Michael Patra, who is basically the deputy governor, right? So extension can be given but these are basically, directors are basically appointed for a period of 4 years, right? And if you talk about the central board of directors, then it consists of all of these people, right? And basically the governors and the deputy governors are very important for us. If you don't know about the other directors, managers, we are not concerned about it, but you need to know who are the governors, you know who are the deputy governors, right? And there are two types of directors in the Reserve Bank of India, right? First one is the official directors. Now official directors are also called the central board of directors, and basically they are full time, and it consists of governor and not more than 4 deputy governors. Now Sri Shaktikant Das is the present governor of the Reserve Bank of India, and you basically see the chart of it, flow chart of it right here. Now the governor is the governor of Reserve Bank of India is basically Sri Shaktikant Das, and the deputy governors are 4 in number. That is Sri M.K. Jain, Dr. M.D. Patra, that is Michael Patra, Sri M.R. Rao, and we also have Sri Tabi Shankar, who also sees the right of information division, right? So these are basically the governor and the 4 deputy governors. And we also have now non-official directors. Now non-official directors are basically nominated by the government, and there are 10 directors from various fields and 2 government officials, and we also have other 4 other directors and 1 each from the 4 local boards that are regional in nature. So this is the constitution of the Reserve Bank of India. Now the Reserve Bank of India is also important for us because it brings up the publications, some of the publications which are important for the civil services examination. Now the first publication is the financial stability report, the second one is the monetary policy report, which is also important, and the third one is the report on financial review, and all of the data from these reports can be directly used in the mains answer writing, and that is why it is important for us. And it is also important for us to remember that these kinds of reports are presented by the Reserve Bank of India, so that if there is any kind of question in the prelims examination regarding it, we can also answer it. So this is it regarding this particular newspaper article, and this is it for the day. Thank you from my side. Do like and share the video and subscribe to this channel. Have a good day. Bye.